Okay, in the words of the T-Mobile commercial, can you hear me now? So, can you all hear me now, or am I still silent? You hear something. What does that mean, Jared? Can you hear me speaking? Okay, thanks, John. Well, this was really just a test of audio, and I figured out that I'm still not getting sound out of my good microphone, but I am getting it out of my webcam. So, I guess that's what I'll be using on Sunday. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate the feedback there. Thanks, Todd. You hear voices. I don't know what that means, Todd. More than one voice? And yes, I'm going back up through the stream. Yes, you all need to be wearing hard hats, but since you're not on the video, I don't think that's a problem. Hello, James. Hello, Tammy. Thanks for your updates on your trip. That's been great stuff. Who else is out here? Zoe's the first one on. I thought or Jerry was the first one on, I guess. But I thank you early joiners to helping me test my audio out here. I just want to be ready to go. Uh, I just want to be ready to go on Sunday when I'm doing the Sidetrack Sunday live stream. It does appear to be a little bit of latency in my video here, so I'm going to have to work on that, I guess. But as long as you all can hear me, that's what's important. Yeah, James, I see you're watching on the tablet. I find that really I do it too. I use the tablet all the time, but the tablet app is it really stinks, doesn't it? I mean, it's just it lacks a lot of functionality. So here's I'm changing over. I don't know how much latency there is, but I've changed over to a slide of a carbon black car that I took this picture back in 2022, and this will be part of my presentation um, on Sunday. All right, take care, Lee. I actually took this Tokai logo out of the picture, cut it out digitally, and actually turned it into a red logo with a white background or a clear background, so that I can make a decal out of it. So that'll be cool. Are you, James? Are you say your tablet is your video editor? Are you what program do you use? Do you use CapCut? I understand that's owned by the same people that own TikTok, so it might be going away. I thought about using that on my tablet. So just curious what you're using. I do have a bicycle trip planned. Uh, okay, thanks, Sparky. Yeah, I'm looking at my I see. Watch it replay later. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to be distracted by the video display. I think everything's up to date, so I'll live with that. Um, but thanks. Yeah, this being only my third live stream ever, I'm still learning the technology, and I switched over from OBS to Prism Live because of the audio problems I was having over there. So just trying it on Prism Live to see if it works. Okay, James, Apple and iMovie. Yeah, I've got a Samsung tablet that really big tablet that I use. Um, so figure I'll be carrying that along on my bike trip whenever I fully retire. I'm going to be riding around the Gulf Coast, filming, taking pictures for my layout backdrop and things like that. So I've done a bunch of solo bike tours in the past. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see. There is that latency built in. It's a little off-putting, but I guess I just have to ignore it. Something I need to learn about live streaming. But thanks for the explanation, Sparky. I appreciate that. So, Tammy, are you in Springfield now? I assume you are. See you, James. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I can't believe that this many people showed up for what was advertised as a test stream only. So I'm really flattered by all these folks showing up, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time on here, I don't think, unless you all have something in particular you want to talk about besides my hard hat. I don't know why I had this black hard hat, but I just slapped a PKNW sticker um, on it just for live streaming. So, okay, that's right, Tammy. You said you were in a house. Is that like a Airbnb or something that you've got? Hello, Almar. How are you doing? Does the show start tomorrow, Tammy, or did it actually start today? I don't know a lot about Amherst. Well, thank you, Tammy. Not as awesome as you and Ray, but if I can get half as much a layout as you have, I'll be lucky. But I am going to start building bench work shortly. Tonight, my wife and I are going to Erie just to hang out and look at the ice dune formations up there. And I'm sure there'll be some. Oh wow, starts Saturday, Tammy. So wow, you're up there really early. What are you doing tomorrow? You probably have all day tomorrow if you didn't have all day today. So thanks, Rusty. Yeah, yeah. I don't know where I got this because I think I was doing some sort of a presentation at work, and I needed a hard hat. That's interesting, Zoe. I actually just earlier today put a Boxcar Jerry sticker on the sticker wall that I have, which is actually the side of my PC, and sent a picture to him. So, yeah, I got my share of Boxcar Jerry stickers as well. Okay, you're from Worcester. Okay, great. Yeah, my father it was from Weymouth, actually, Weymouth, Mass. So there's actually some great chemical plants there, and the Four Rivers got a lot of shipyard, shipbuilding and stuff. So I need to do a study of that. There's probably some modelgenic industries there as well. Oh, you're rail fanning. Okay, what are you seeing in Palmer? I don't know what Palmer has to offer. Okay, I didn't see that, Tammy. I've been busy working, so I work, and so I didn't get a chance to check that out. So, but that sounds good. I should have known you'd have something rail related to fill your time. Welcome back, James. Uh, I'm glad you came back, and I hope you're feeling okay. I saw some reference to your health earlier in the chat, so I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing okay. Health is everything. Al, what are you working on, Al Mar? I don't really know a lot about your modeling endeavors, so if you could give us a little chat about what you're up to, I'd appreciate it. Interesting, Sparky. Sparky, are you going to the show there in Springfield? Whereabouts, Zoe Lee? Where are you going to be in Pennsylvania? Steve 87th. What is going on, my friend? Got any vehicle kits going on? Anything you're working on, Steve? You're resetting up the layout, Al. What did you have tear it down, or are you just sprucing it up a little bit? I wonder what exactly are you doing, and is it HO scale? What era? Give me a little bit more. Others on the chat may know all about your layout, but I apologize, I don't. I don't know where Oaks is, Zoe Lee. So enlighten me. I'm not a motorsports guy. I did follow Formula One a little bit, and I have a bunch of 143rd scale Formula One cars from like Marsh models and stuff like that, highly detailed. And I think Tameo, Tameo, they make the 143rd scale, highly detailed 143rd scale automobile kits. I have a couple of those. Never put them together, but that's as close as I got to motorsports, I'm afraid. I see, Sparky. So you're going to go to Springfield for a Friday night gathering, but not go to the show. Well, you've probably been there. So you've seen it. It's not like you have to go again. Nice, Steve. Give us like to see a video about that if you get a chance, even if it's just a short, to show us what you did. I'd love to see that. Remodel. Okay. I see, Al. So you remodeled the house, so you had to move the layout. Now you're kind of reassembling it. Interesting. That sounds painful. That sounds painful, especially if it was an around the walls layout. It was actually attached to the building permanently in some way. That could be very painful. So good on you that you're getting it done. Zoe, I do not know the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, but sounds like you should. If you're going to connect up with anybody, it would be Boxcar Jerry. He's in Philadelphia, so that's you're on. I'm on the other side of the state, so I'm quite a few hours away. Uh, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours drive, maybe. It's a big state, Pennsylvania. Who else we got on here? We got Al, we got Tammy, we got Steve, Sparky, we got Rusty over at Possum Bayou. Last time you went was 1987. Rusty, you know, no interest in going again? Yeah, I don't know who all is out there. Hey, Ron, what's going on? Yeah, I know you're going to Amherst, man. Yeah, good night, Ron. Thanks for stopping in. Travel safely and enjoy the show. I'll try and be there next year. That is my plan. My wife thought, oh, it was on your list. Why aren't you going? And we just made the list right after Christmas. I was not planning on. That was really for 2026 Amherst. So I'll be there next year. Ah, I see, Rusty. Hey, JD, how are you doing? How are things in Texas? If you got snow, has it melted off? I think my son, who's in Denton, said that there was some snow, but hope it's cleared up for you and everything's cool. Well, not too cool. Yeah, Ron, drive safely. Assuming you're driving. No snow, JD says. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Tuesday morning, when I left the house to go to the gym, it was -7 here in Pittsburgh. That was mighty cold. I've experienced -20s at Crater Lake in Oregon, and I do recommend going to Crater Lake if you haven't been there. It's an amazing place. Went there in the winter. There was, I think, 14 feet of snow on the ground. And my wife went and I went there to not only see the lake but do some snowshoeing, which we did. And you go up to a tree and look at that tree well, that hole around the trunk of those pine trees. If you fell in there, I don't know how the hell you'd get out. It was just incredible, just incredible. So I do recommend that for one of the more beautiful spots in the United States. So there's very little rail action there. However, in Klamath Falls, which is kind of the nearest town, there is a small yard. There are some trains there in Klamath Falls. So, and if you're not staying at the lake itself, Klamath Falls might be one of the closer towns, and so you could get a little rail fanning in. -12, Al. Man, that is cold. I do have an acquaintance who lives in Billings, and she said it was -41 the other morning when she dropped her kids off at school. They were still going to school. -41. That's cold. That's cold. Graduating high school, Zoe says, in the winter of 2026. In the winter. Interesting. Well, knowing you, Zoe, I'm sure you've got a plan for what you're going to do in the winter of 2026 after you graduate. So good on you. That's a big milestone. It's a big milestone. And honestly, I'm not sure any additional education is necessary. Traditionally, one would say you have to go to college, but my son didn't graduate from college, and he's doing great as a manager at a tech company in in Southern California. So no need to go to college these days. I don't know why the hard hat. I found it in a box. I'm still unpacking all of my crap here at the shop, and I found it in a box. Several other hard hats. One I was wearing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were my NFL team that I follow, and so I just found a hat and slapped a sticker on it. I said, "Hey, I'll have fun wearing this on a live stream. Maybe I'll wear it on Sunday." All right, thanks for stopping in, Tammy. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show and the rail fanning. And thanks again for your videos updating us about your trip. That was a lot of fun. I felt like I was right along there. Hey, Dave. Thanks for stopping by. Just a test stream to test my audio, and it's a good thing I did because it didn't work, and I had to make adjustments on the fly here that I don't want to have to make on Sunday for Sidetrack Sunday because my wife and I'll be out of town until probably Sunday afternoon. So I wanted to have a test stream and be sure I was set up and good to go. So. I'm reading chats here. Sorry, I'm kind of losing focus on the camera there. Yes, I understand what graduation means, Zoe. You'll be out of school, but gonna have to do something after that. So the world is your oyster. It's wide open. You can do whatever you want to do. So that's cool. That's cool. Hey, and without being too political here, mandatory education through high school is one of the things that uh, does make America great. Uh, a lot of countries don't have that. And so, it means our average citizens are better educated than the rest of the world, and that makes a huge difference. Huge difference, right? I mean, I remember going to, I think it was Guatemala. I was in Guatemala, and the only way people knew what bus to get onto was by the color of the bus. They couldn't read. We don't have that problem here in the United States. So mandatory education is an amazing thing. So let's not. Oh, good, Zoe. You're going out rail fanning. I love that. Yeah, yeah. Boy, I don't have to go anywhere to rail fan because right across the street from my shop is an active Norfolk Southern line. So there's 4 or 5 trains a day go by. So if I'm here all day, I have plenty of opportunity. Now, I'm not sticking my head out in that freezing cold weather, setting up a camera out there. But when it starts warming up again, I'll be out there, and I'll definitely probably have some live streams where I'll watch some trains with you all and potentially get my drone footage streaming here, so you'll have live view out of my drone camera. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. And I've been looking here. Maybe even here in the winter, there may be some good photographs of trains to be had with the foliage off the trees. So. Randall Ellison, welcome, my friend. I don't know. It's really cool that the community comes to my aid when I need just a couple of people watching and listening to make sure everything looks good. So, for those who've joined the stream a little bit later, this picture on my monitor is of a carbon black car that I took photos of in 2022, and I will see if we can see a few more. Yeah, this is kind of the best shot I got. It's got the sign of the town, Coppell, Texas, and you can see a string of these Tokai carbon boxcars. And this will be the subject of my Sidetrack Sunday talk on Sunday. Is this industry with analysis of a couple of plants and the description of the product, the industry, and how it can be modeled. I found some really cool shots and some great places to model. So that's what we'll be looking at. Hello, Mark at Stu Structures. Hope you're doing well. Flattered that you're here. Tell us what you're working on, Mark. What's the current structure? Love to hear about that. So you can see there's a just from this one shot here on the screen, you can see there's a pretty significant variety of cars that are used to different kinds of hoppers to carry carbon black. They do have a unique type of lining in the cars, and so there's a lot of warning labels on the cars about not hammering the cars, not washing them out with boiling water, things like that to disturb the lining. So we'll be looking at that on Sunday and some of the available models that are out there as well. But it's an interesting industry and an interesting product, and I'll say no more. But I hope to see you on Sunday. Riverbank Store. I don't know what Riverbank Store means, Mark. Maybe you can answer that. Yes, Randall, I have several of those. I can only find one, but I did find one that I can show. I have a rivet counter version of Scale Trains. It's not a TCHX reporting mark, but it's a good car. It's a decent car, and I figured out I've already gotten that Tokai logo off of a photograph and turned it into a graphic with a blank background, so it's going to make a good decal. So I'll probably figure out how to convert some of my existing undecorated hoppers into Tokai carbon black cars. So we'll see how I do with those decals. Overhang a river. Boy, now that sounds interesting, Mark. Doors that overhang a riverbank. That's pretty cool. That whole area you're modeling, Mark, is really interesting. So I suppose with it being so cold, Mark, you're not engaged in your normal agricultural, horticultural pursuits. So hopefully you're getting some good modeling in and you're not too cold. So David, DB Tech, if you're still on, what are you working on, sir? Yeah, Randall, I know. I saw when I was out on the Scale Trains website that they made these cars back in 2018. That's a long time ago. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I didn't. Okay, thanks, John. John at SRV. Take care. Have a good night. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I wish I'd bought a whole bunch more of these cars, Randall, when they were available. I wasn't didn't realize at the time I was going to be modeling the industry, so I only bought two or three. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to make my own. And white lettering, of course, is a pretty difficult thing to do. Uh, so for when you're making your own decals. So we'll see. I may send them off to a commercial place to have them done. We'll see. Cool, Dave. All right, I can see I'm getting into my presentation here with these pictures, and I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna back up. But this is the shot side, as close as I could get to perpendicular to the surface of the car in order to copy that logo. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, I thought the hatches on this car are really crazy looking. I don't know why that is the way it is, but that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I agree with you, Randall. I don't know whether we're going to see him again or not. So probably going to have to make my own, and that's a lot of unusual decaling to do here to get this done. But we'll see. James, that sounds complicated. Elevated crossover alone is pretty complicated. You'll have to tell us, Randall, what those acronyms mean for the BNSF trains. But yes, I saw those all the time when I was rail fanning down in Texas. JD will remember we went to Saginaw, Texas, and rail fan together, and that's not too far from the Sid Richardson carbon black facility in Fort Worth, and there used to be Sid Richardson carbon black cars all the time, and that caused me to research this. No, Dave at DB Tech. I'm broadcasting from Prism Live. Prism Live. That's true, Steve 87th. I could print on white decal paper. That's true. And that would probably be, but yeah, I have to print black on white, right? And so that black might match the black on the car side. That's my concern. So I'd have that problem whether I printed the car areas white and just put the decals over there. I'm going to have problems blending the black if I can't actually print white decals. That's why I'm thinking about going to a commercial decal printer to print white decals. So we'll see. Thank you, Randall. That makes sense. It's awesome to have a real railroad man um, to give us some real knowledge here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Dave, you asked about where I'm streaming from. Do you think how does this look to you? What could be improved about this? I'm just trying to get my stream a little bit better before the 26th. So if you see something that could be improved, let me know. Trying to remember to look into this camera, but with two screens up here and with the uh, chat over here, I'm tending to look away. So maybe I'll work on my screens but this monitor over here is in the profile orientation, so I don't want to put my pictures over there, then they wouldn't really fill the screen. So I don't know, just trying to get this right. Joe Rader, I didn't see you joining the stream. How are you doing, sir? I hope that you and your puppy dog are doing well. Okay, thanks, Mark. Good to know it's looking okay. I think the last time I did Sidetrack Sunday, I think my video was okay. My audio was not good. People could not hear me. And I had an echo. I had headphones on. I had an echo. And it was just driving me nuts. It's hard to concentrate. So, yeah, I've got this fancy, expensive microphone here, but I can't seem to get it to work. Struggling with my audio setup. So it was not working previously with that microphone. So I'll you have to go back to square one. Audio is critical. So, but for now, I'll just use my webcam audio, and I'll just have to remember to project well, keep facing that microphone, and know that that's where I'm getting generating both video and audio signal. So. All right, Joe, I'm glad you're staying warm. Yeah, Mark, my wife is constantly complaining about YouTube where she's got to adjust the volume all the time. She's a total YouTube addict. Just did her first video, actually. Her channel is called In the Garden with Rose. Her name is Rose. And we just published her first video last night. So we're trying to get her going there. It's kind of fun to see, remembering from a few years back when I was doing this solo and trying to figure everything out. It's kind of fun to relive that. Okay, Dave. Yeah, I'm kind of an audio freak, so I'm pretty disappointed that this it's something about my setup. It's something about my setup that's not working, I think. Um, so I'll how I've got this connected. So I'll I don't know. Betraying my ignorance of how to set up audio. So yeah, Dave, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do an overhead camera. It probably won't be before Sunday since I'm gonna be out of town. Um, and as I said, my wife and I are going up to Erie. If you anybody has any rail fanning spots or railroad related things in Erie, Pennsylvania that we could look at, I'm sure we can carve some time out to do that. We're actually going up to take a look at the ice dunes that form on the lake in the Presque Isle area, where the splashing water builds up these crazy ice formations in the lake as it freezes. And with this recent extremely cold weather, I'm hoping there'll be some really interesting ice formations to take pictures of. But if there's something railroad related up there, let me know. All right, Steve. All right, Steve. I see your comment there. Yeah, I've always been told I have a voice and a face for radio. So this is you're just confirming that. So I am hoping to. I'm going to get a basic bench work plan together while I'm up in Erie. I've got all the drawing supplies to start laying out my railroad, which is going to be, the venerable dog bone. I'm going to use 48-inch curves, um, 48-inch radius curves because I have an abundance of space. But other than that, it's going to be kind of a narrow dog bone with a kind of a continuous kind of a shelf layout on both sides. It'll be an island layout with tracks on either side of a center uh, background, a center divider. Um, so it'll be long, but hopefully be minimizing the amount of area of the layout. It'll be on average 12 inches deep. Where I have a large industry or a yard, it might be a little bit wider, but not too much wider. Trying to maximize my modeling opportunities and just put some industries in a row with maybe a shared yard at one end of the layout that represents Caracara when you on coming one direction and Pohoy when you're coming on the other. Um, but you'll see that on Sunday. Hopefully, I'll have at least a quick sketch drawn up to show you. So, are you staying warm, Dave? Is the question. Oh, I see. Okay. Um, I guess what you're asking, Steve, is can I uh, switch views? Let me see how I do that here. I don't know. I made a change there, Steve. We'll see if that makes a change. You know, on OBS, you could switch those things around with one click. I don't think I can do that in Prism Live. So, or if I can, I don't know how. So, yeah, I'm not sure I know how to do that. Steve, I'll try and do some I'll do some research here. Yeah, I don't know how to switch those monitors those around. So, I mean, this is the view I want to have during my presentation for Sidetrack Sunday, where the main monitor is the primary view, and I'm just up in the corner, not blocking too much. But it does seem like kind of basic functionality to be able to switch those views. Yep, I don't know how to do that, Steve. That's a reasonable request, but it's not one that I can answer. So. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Steve. That's definitely a good thing to be able to do. But to switch between cameras, one being the main, and yeah, I don't know how to do that. So I don't know. So, Joe Rader, what are you doing on your layout? I'm curious to know. It seems almost done to me, but I'm sure there's always something to work on. So I'm curious what you're working on. Well, there's a little gnat flying around in here. You would think after -7 degrees there wouldn't be any gnats, but my wife's got a bunch of live plants in here, so I guess that's to be expected. Yeah, you're right, Steve. Yeah. I should start big, then go to the presentation. I think I may need to be able to set a different scene, then I can switch between scenes. One is this way, and then I'll set another one which is just the just the live just the webcam. So, and then I can just click over to a different scene. And I may be able, I don't think I can do that now, and I don't want to screw up the live stream right now. So, Joe, how are you weathering? Do you do like pin washes with oils? I've got one of your cars, which looks fantastic. So, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your weathering techniques. Do you use an airbrush? What do you do? I'd be curious to hear about that because your results are excellent. So, love to hear any tips you can share. Do you dry brush afterwards? Do you do like usually when I weather, I do like a wash with dark, and then I go back to dry brushing on the highlights, and that's it. But I'm curious to hear what you do. Okay, you use pastels. Do you fix those pastels, Joe Rader? I'm curious. That's kind of the knock on pastels is they come off when you touch them. But people say when they put a clear coat on, it wipes it out. So I'm just curious, assuming you're using the pastels kind of to dry brush on highlights. So, Oh, I see. Right, because it's small. When I go off center, I kind of go off camera. Okay, that's a good pointer, Steve. That's a good pointer. I appreciate that. Okay, you dull coat the pastels, and you don't find that that wipes it out too much, or you just go really lightly with the dull coat, or maybe you put the pastels on really heavy, knowing that it's going to be toned down a little bit. I don't know exactly what you do. So, Steve, you said except for the something thing, and I can't make out that little icon there. Sorry, I don't know what that means. That's why I was a little off camera there. I was looking down to try and read your comment, but I can't make out that little icon there. So, JD, if you're still on, I'm curious what you're up to on your layout. You've done a bunch of, mailbag kind of stuff, but I wonder what you're working on there out in the train room. Gotcha, Joe. Okay, so you compensate, you put on an extra heavy coat of pastels, acknowledging there's going to be some reduction. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I've never really used the pastels too much. Zoe Lee, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Enjoy the motorsport event in the Philly area. Enjoy that. So I'm going to probably sign off. Certainly at the hour mark, I'm going to sign off. I really appreciate everybody coming in and giving me some feedback about how I look, how I sound. That's really helpful. Wonderful to see everybody here and to hear what you all are working on. Dave at DB Tech, I know you said a Yeti is a good option. This microphone I have actually is a Yeti that was used by a rock band, and I bought it at a pawn. They pawned it, and I bought it at a pawn shop. So it's a Yeti microphone, but it's XLR connections. So I think it's working fine, but my connections are not. So good night, JD. I assume that means you're taking off. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, Mark. Hey, it's great seeing you. Great seeing you. All right, our presents and cake, I hope, Steve. Save a piece for me. Right? Yeah, right, James. This was a 5 minute test, turned into a 45-minute visit with you all, which I really like. Dave, it sounds like you're a audio expert, and I need that. I may need your advice. I've got to recheck my entire setup here because maybe the mic isn't working anymore after it made the cross country journey. Maybe something happened. I packaged it up very carefully, but maybe it's faulty. I don't know. I'll have to figure out a way to test it. Mark, thanks for stopping by. I think I said that, but great to see you. Keep up the great work. Love your builds. Totally inspirational. So thank you, sir. I've got a couple of scratch built structures in the works. So now that I'm getting my work area, I will. Yeah, I just didn't want to pay for StreamYard, James, and I didn't want the logo. So I was a little finicky about that. So I'm trying everything but StreamYard, but you're right. StreamYard probably would be the easiest to use. Yeah, Randall, you are on the road all the time, but you seem to always have some modeling supplies and are working on the road, so that's really cool. And I guess you don't have too many distractions when you're in those hotel rooms, so except for live streams, I guess. Yeah, I know it's free, James. If you can accept the duck logo on the screen, and I wasn't cool with the logo. So, but I may have to go back to that if it gives me a better result for the audience. That's the most important thing, not my little pet peeves about other people's branding. So, yeah. Is that what you use, James? Do you use the free version of StreamYard? I know it's only a duck, I know. But it is what it is. I don't know this. I've been shocked at this. At the difficulties of live streaming. I had no idea it was going to be so challenging, but they've got it good enough for Sidetrack Sunday next week, so that's the most important thing to me. You doing some soldering there, James? That sounds, Randall, that sounds like a pretty significant project to achieve in a hotel room. That's pretty impressive, frankly. I assume you too were doing some soldering. So, in a hotel room, no less. So that's pretty cool. My layout that I'm building now is going to be cold rail and power on board. So I'm going to try and get away from some of that. Okay, lever connectors. Interesting. Yeah, I'm glad I've got gas heat here in my shop. It's still not cheap. I've got a furnace from the 1980s that I am going to be having replaced in a week or so, but it's not. And this place is horribly insulated in terms of leaky doors, windows, that sort of thing. So, but I got it in October. Basically, I took possession of this place, and so I didn't have a lot of time to be repairing cracks. I had just had a whole bunch of plumbing work done, electrical work done. So yeah, it'll be a while before I'm satisfied with the energy bills here. At least the roof doesn't leak. The door's shut. I've got a good alarm system. Uh, so, I'm looking forward to having a clock thermostat, maybe something that's, internet connected so I can be monitoring conditions here when I'm not around. Ah, okay. Interesting, Randall. That sounds pretty easy. That sounds easier than I thought. You're not actually soldering in a hotel room, but you've disabused me of that image of you doing that operation in a hotel room, which would have been uber cool. So, yes, Dave, HO. HO. I'm an HO guy. And so I'll be working on battery power. Um, I'll probably just use Tsunami, although I have a rail power system that I could use for control. Um, so I'm definitely going to be working simultaneously on bench work. I'm going to do L girder construction. So if I have to, I can do a traditional DCC powered rail system if I have to. But that's not really what I want to do. I want to do power on board and avoid all that wiring and track cleaning stuff and experiment with the new technology. I don't expect to have a massive layout with a lot of locomotives, which is really impractical with battery power, right? Um, I don't own that many locomotives anyway. You all have probably heard the story that my last layout, which was over 30 years ago, uh, was named after my first wife. And so, needless to say, all of that custom decorated equipment is not something I want to run. And so, um, I don't recommend naming your freelance railroad after your spouse because you never know what might happen. So, in this case, it is not named after my spouse. Sorry, Rose. But yeah, I'm going to do L girder construction, so I should have some flexibility to make things wider if I want to change things. But I'm just going to kind of snake it around inside the space, island style layout, so I can run trains from both sides of it. Not going to attach it to the walls. I could, but there's really no need to. I'm not space constrained. What I am is time and resource constrained. So I want to have something that I can get up, get running, and start getting finished fairly soon. So that's really the objective, is to get into the modeling and scenery aspects of it, which is what I really enjoy the most. And so that's what I'm going to do. Uh, any advice about L girder construction is welcome. Wow, Al, that's a big savings. I was just glad that when it got down to -7, I did not have any frozen pipes in this place. I have no idea, what kind of temperature extremes it can stand. -7 was certainly one of the coldest nights in Pittsburgh in decades, and came through with flying colors, no frozen pipes. So I'm optimistic. The roof on here is over 20 years old, needs to be replaced, but it's still sound. Um, no leaks. So hopefully in the spring, I'll put a new roof on this place. And I'm going to have a new furnace and air conditioner put in next week, as I said. And so be getting some of the core systems in the shop done. So, but it's still comfortable here in the winter. It's a nice job. Nice place to be. Not cold. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah, Todd, the island layout, the advantages are you can access both sides, but it's kind of a space hog, but I have a lot of space. So I'm not going to attach anything to the walls. I don't have to worry about getting the maximum amount of railroad into this space because that would be way too much layout for me to finish in my lifetime. So I don't want to be in that situation. I want to get trains running and get to the part of the hobby that I enjoy. So, yeah, Dave, there's no garage here, actually. So I am thinking about building like a carport, a cover for cars. This winter has been constant snow. I'll tell you. I mean, there are days when I've had to clean the snow off my truck like 6 times. So it'd be nice when I'm parked here at the shop to have a little bit of cover, and I might build like a little deck area off the front of the building to have a cookout. I've got a grill that I brought, a built-in grill that I brought from Texas, never installed. So I'd like to install that outside, lock it down. Of course, it's in a public area by a fairly busy street. Um, but yeah, that's the plan. I didn't realize you were a car guy in addition to a train guy, Dave, at DB Tech. Do you have an older car, a kit car, project car? All right. Well, I see that I'm now over the hour mark, and so I am going to bid you all good night. This was, again, just supposed to be a test stream, but I really appreciate the company and your all of your feedback on my the quality of my stream and the view here. Steve 87th in particular, really nice comments and good observations about and help with this. So I really appreciate it, and I will end the stream in a minute or two here and say good night. And I hope to see you all on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time when I'll be talking about carbon black. What is it, the industry, where the plant's located, what's the process for making carbon black, what is carbon black used for, what are the modeling opportunities. I'm going to be, in particular, focusing on the Tokai plant in Texas, just because I think it would fit on a shelf layout very well. So I hope to see you then. So thanks, Al. Appreciate that. Thank you, Randall. Be careful out there. Thanks, Joe Rader. Appreciate your feedback. Stay warm with your puppy dog over there, out there in Maryland. So good night, all. Take care, and hopefully I will see you for Sidetrack Sunday on the 26th. Be safe.